if someone said to me that they were against voluntary assisted dying, I would be like quite harsh, and it would be like, I want you to be in that position with a loved one now, and you go to the hospital every day and live it and feel it and see that your loved one is suffering, has no choices, all their control is gone, everything they do is controlled by the hospital or wherever they are, and all their dignity is completely gone. My dad's name was Peter. We've always been super close. He and I were always in trouble as when I was a kid. My mum always said it was like having two kids in the house. Yeah, definite presence, big time. So my dad was having prostate surgery, and he was in there for a really, really long time. And then when he came out, they asked my mum to come in as well, and they said they thought my dad had prostate cancer. And they said that on top of the prostate cancer, he also had terminal bone cancer. Yeah, and they were hesitant to give any kind of time frame as to how long, how much time he had, because it was terminal cancer. He was really, really shocked. We had tears, and which was so unlike him. You know, he's always been really strong and really, you know, he was completely devastated, as were all of us. When he was first diagnosed, it was, you know, it's in his collarbone, in his hip, and in his ribs, I think. That was about it. And then gradually it was in his spine, the base of his skull, his thighs. But yeah, it just spread. When he was really, really sick, you know, there was talk. My mum and dad talked a little bit because they were so close to the Victorian border, and they actually discussed Victorian laws and talked about how, you know, why can't we have that in South Australia? And I think that it would have given him, you know what, I think it would have given him a little bit of peace of mind to know that it was there, and to be able to, if the time came and I wanted that, then I could, you know, there would be that choice. Dad got taken to the hospital in the ambulance, and he was in emergency for a few hours, not a super long time, and he was so sick. I think he was quite dehydrated, and he was in a lot of pain, and he had had discussions with the emergency room doctor and said that he no longer wanted treatment, and she had said that she agreed that was probably for the best. So we were under the impression then that it would be quite close, and that, you know, this was getting really, really towards the end. And so he would have been no food, no drink, and lightly sedated, they said. So he would be peaceful and he would be pain-free. And we were like, okay, that won't be so bad. And so then he was admitted onto a ward in the Mount Gambier Hospital. And pretty much from the next day, we started to have concerns about his palliative care, that perhaps the staff weren't aware that it was supposed to be palliative care. There was definitely a threat of, if he didn't drink, they'd have to put him on a drip. And my mum reminded the hospital staff that my dad had an advanced care directive, and that he didn't want, you know, any more treatment. And yeah, she definitely had to remind them on numerous occasions that, you know, this is where he was at, and these were his wishes. This is what he wanted. So after 6 weeks, we'd had numerous people say to us that he might go to a nursing home, and numerous people said to us, you know, you don't want him to go into a nursing home because nursing homes aren't set up for palliative care. And we were like, oh, okay, and the hospital must be okay. And then when Dad had been in there for 6 weeks and we saw that it didn't really feel like he was treated as a palliative care patient, maybe he was, but it didn't feel like it. So my mum said, I don't think the nursing home could be any worse. So my dad got assessed to go into the nursing home. And I think from then on, it actually felt like he was getting taken care of. So, being looked after. So he did have a light sedation then, so he was more peaceful, got regular pain relief, and I think he was there for 3 days, and then he died with my mum there. My mum said, this is what he asked for 6 weeks ago, and this is what they said would happen. They said that he would be lightly sedated and receive pain relief, and that, drift away, and that's what would happen, and it didn't. And it was like just awful to see someone going through that.